Hi there, it's Cheryl Lynn. Good afternoon or good morning if you're on the West Coast. I am excited to talk about this topic because it's something that I just had a run-in with where I kept feeling like there was something blocking me. So it was my perception that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't move forward because there was something in my way. And it's so interesting when we use those words that there's actually something that we think that there's something actually there. And sometimes it can be on an energetic level. Sometimes it can be our thoughts. Sometimes it can be like an actual physical feeling like something is preventing us from moving forward. And yesterday I had that experience to, I would say, a milder extent where I just felt like I couldn't get motivated to write. I couldn't figure out how to keep my mind engaged as I was really trying to create some things for my website um, and to do some writing. So as I'm going through this process and feeling worse and worse, as I'm going through my day, I'm feeling worse about that I feel like I don't have any control. That's the feeling. And I don't know about you, but that feeling of not being in control of my own life can be very frustrating. And of course, it's all my mind that's telling me this, that it's telling me that I don't, that control is even a thing because I'm still breathing, I'm still moving forward, but this sense of I want to do more, I want to be able to create or have my life look a certain way, and something like is blocking it. So what I realized yesterday when I was going through this was that, again, because I keep getting the same lesson over and over again, it keeps coming around. And what I came back to was the same thing I always come back to, which is just because it feels like nothing's happening does not mean that that is actually true. Sometimes it's much more subtle. Sometimes what I'm being called to do, what you're being called to do while you're trying to push through, is to stop and actually take some time to integrate, to relax, to go easy. And we're not used to doing that. It's so interesting that even when our physical body is telling us, like yesterday, I started getting a headache in the afternoon, and I finally just stopped what I was doing because my body was now on board trying to get me to stop pushing. So as we talk about the idea of something blocking us, like is it something that we're supposed to be getting rid of? Is there something wrong with us? I get clients all the time coming to me and like, I feel like something's in the way, and maybe it's a past life, and maybe it's some old thought pattern, but I've got to get rid of it. I've got to change and I've got to do something in order to stop feeling this way. And that speaks to the impatience that most of us have when things aren't moving at the pace that we would like them to move at. And it doesn't mean that sometimes we can't push ourselves a little bit if we're kind of feeling like there's some momentum there. But when we push and we're not in the flow of relaxing into something and try and go faster than we're actually being called to do, that impatience can create that feeling of a block. Like I want to go fast, but something like I can't go past the point where I am. And that's where those thoughts of something must be wrong. There must be something wrong with me personally. There must be I need help. I need to go call a friend or go call a healer because there must be something in my body that's not working correctly. And then you start digging. And this is where you get into this cycle of trying to move forward, feeling perceptively like you have some sort of a block. And so then you start looking for a way to fix it. And then the excavation begins. So one of the things that is really common is will, and I'm so guilty of this, I'll start like making a list in my mind of all the possible reasons why I feel this block, and digging and thinking, well, if I can't really think of a good reason, one that makes sense to my logical mind, then maybe there's something even deeper that I'm in denial about, right? And if I dig even deeper and poke at it, maybe it'll come. So this is one way to do it. I'm going to say that, you know, digging deep and trying to figure it out, you can do that. But I know from my experience, my own personal experience with friends and clients, that it is the slow route. When you push like that, when you just are trying so hard to figure it out, what happens is you're focusing on, there's something wrong, I've got to fix it, right? And so then it's like you're chasing your tail and you keep looking for something to fix and feeling worse and worse, and you can't figure out why. Now, it's not that this method won't get you some information. It's just that it's a just much more painful process. So what to do instead? Well, when there is, I believe, and from my experience, I've experienced something that I call divine timing, which means that my mind doesn't figure out the timing of things and how things are going to progress and how the awarenesses are going to come and even how the creativity is going to unfold. And when I understand this, and when I stay in the knowing that this is how things work, that when I trust that, as my dear friend Mahulili once said to me, I asked her, how do you know when the time's right to make a move on something? I think we were talking about business. And she said, well, I'll know the time is right because I'll find myself doing it, something like that. And I thought, wow, okay, so there's no figuring it out then. If you're just trusting that time will come and you will open to that. You will open to the flow of creation. So it's not always easy for us humans to understand this, because we're so used to operating from the mind and having the mind figure everything out. But when you are in that flow and when you're trusting in divine timing, then you're much more able to discern whether it's time to move forward on something, because there's a smooth path. And if there's any feeling of a roadblock or something in your way, it's usually not literally something in your way. It's your mind telling you that there must be something wrong. If you're in that flow, when the time's right, it's just easy. You just move on it. You start feeling the inspiration, your creativity kicks in. Like this morning, I got up and I knew I was going to do a Facebook Live. I ended up doing I revisited an old video of Richard Simmons doing Sweatin' to the Oldies, and I felt really energized by that. And the energy is completely different. And the creativity is completely different today. I feel like I have more access. I've been doing some writing. And what changed? Did a block get removed? Did I hold my crystals and say, okay, clear. Because I could have done that, and it still would have probably taken until today for this all to open up, for my creativity to open up again. So I'm not saying that there's not value in getting assistance when you're feeling really stuck, because if you're already kind of on your way to opening up, it can help to have someone to kind of move you along and help you with the trusting process and letting go of control. And so that's often what is the most beneficial for me, and also helps with the clients that I work with, just to help them get out of their heads, right? Because our heads can really mess stuff up. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, a helpful discussion. I know that it's not always easy, and I get in my head all the time and have to remind myself, oh, divine timing, there's no block, there's no actual block here. And I'm just going to trust that things will open up. So that's all for today. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.